Sending data. We're live on X. And we're live on YouTube.
That's fun.
Yep, we're here. All right, go ahead and say something, Jeff.
Hi. What's up? Happy Saturday.
Okay, yeah, so I can hear it's delayed. But awesome. I just want to make sure I could hear everything okay.
Yeah, that's that 7 seconds media delay in case I say a curse word or something.
Too bad there's nobody in the behind the scenes here that's going to edit it out in time, so hello. We have our first hello from Mama Schmida, if I'm saying that correctly. Thank you for being here. I'm going to give it just really till 2 o'clock, so the next 3 minutes here, and then we'll do a quick introduction and jump into things. But thank you everyone who's hopping in. We're so grateful that you're here. This is exciting. This is our first live stream doing this. So far so good. There's been no tech issues, so I'm very grateful for that, because Jeff and I are prone to tech issues, it seems. So
well, we're living in the digital world.
Yeah. Yes, Jesus is Lord. Amen. Hello, Sophia. Awesome. If you guys are hopping in, just let us know where you're reporting from, and let me know what the temperature is there. I'm in Florida, so it's starting to get what I call Florida cold here, which is like in the 40s and 50s, which I love. My wife does not, but yeah, let me know where you guys are at, what the temperature is, because I can live vicariously through all you people that are in those cold climates.
Yeah, I'm in Arizona, so this is what we call Arizona cold, I guess, and it is a balmy 72 degrees outside.
Wow.
Yeah, I get to wear my short sleeves. We don't really get winter here. Sometimes it gets like, I don't know, in the early morning or nighttime down to like the 30s, but rarely below freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Arizona is one of the few states that gets hotter than Florida. You don't have as much humidity, but it gets very hot there. So very hot.
Yeah.
Oh,
I moved
Archangel, you're from Arizona as well. You said it's chilly.
cool. Chilly, Arizona chilly. Unless you're up in the mountains. Up in the mountains, it does snow in like Prescott or Flagstaff. It's really nice up there.
Okay. Nice. Oklahoma about 50. Okay, that's not bad. 50 is not bad.
I'll take it.
Yeah, Florida's been, I think we were like mid 40s this morning, and then it just gets warmer throughout the day, of course, with the sun coming out, but it's been nice. I've been enjoying it. So 46 in Illinois. Nice. Well, it's Illinois is going to get pretty chilly here in a couple months, so brace yourself. Awesome. Okay, well it's 1:59. We'll go ahead and get it started here. We have 25 people so far in. I expect there will be more as the social media posts go out letting people know to join. But to get it kicked off, this is Jeff that I have with me, a special guest from TruPlay Games. And the reason we're doing this is because Jeff and I are both parents, as I'm sure many of you are. And we just believe it's very important that in the digital age we live in, we're educated and aware of all of the craziness that goes on behind these screens. But not just that, understanding the benefits as well of what can be done with these screens. So we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. TruPlay has done a fantastic job of just pulling research and data and just gathering a really good understanding of screens and our kids. And not just kids, right? A lot of this applies to adults as well, but we have a focus on kids for this discussion. And yeah, we're going to kind of talk through some of that stuff. There'll be a little giveaway at the end. You'll learn a little bit more about TruPlay. And just feel free to comment, ask questions, all of that. Jeff cannot see the chat, but I will read him any questions that you bring in, and it'll be a great time. So stick around to the end. It should only be 40, 45 minutes. If there's more questions at the end, of course, it could go longer, but it shouldn't be a ton of time. So definitely stick around. I'm just so grateful and happy that you guys are here and excited to do this. But without further ado, I will pass the mic over to Jeff to kick us off here.
Thank you, Cliff. I am grateful to be here, and thank you so much for inviting us to, share some information. And yeah, why are we here? We're here because we're parents. We're in the thick of it. We're dealing with it. We are raising digital natives in a digital age, and we got issues. So it's best to share the information we have, talk about the issues, help each other solve them. And yeah, I'll tell you about what we're doing at TruPlay to try to really change the game in that regard. So thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Cliff, for the invitation. You are indeed our favorite Christian content creator, and we love your channel, and we just want you to keep doing what you're doing. We'll come back as many times as you want us to. Okay, I'm going to get into it. The screen time dilemma. If you're here and you're watching this, you probably know what I'm talking about. You probably have screens in your house, and they're probably an issue of contention. So let's get into it. What do you think of when you hear the phrase screen time? There's a lot of negative connotations these days, right? It's not always like a good thing. Mostly when you hear screen time, it's in relation to something that's negative. And I want to show you a really interesting chart, which is why we are here doing what we're doing. So in this digital age, kids are really in crisis. This was pulled from childtrends.org. It's on the right side of this graph right here, what you're seeing are child and adolescent thriving index. That is an index of all the things that create an environment in which thriving is a possibility. This is basic stuff, access to good education, safety, shelter, food, clean water, all of that good stuff that creates an environment where a kid can thrive. And as you can see, since the year 2000, it's been a steady trend up. Things are good. The environment is a good environment in which thriving can happen for children. This other line is very interesting. This line is the absence of depressive symptoms. The absence of depressive symptoms. And as you can see, we're riding along here at a pretty fair clip, getting a little bit better, following the trend line here of the increasing index. And then something happens right here. And there's this precipitous decline from about the year 2011 on, meaning that depressive symptoms in children have been increasing at a rapid clip since then. Why? What happened at exactly that time? Well, I don't know, correlation is not causation, but this is definitely correlated, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can see right here, the iPad launched, I believe, it was 2010. And by 2011, like just about every household has a smart tablet in it, and kids are getting more and more access to them. A lot of people refer to the iPad as like the nanny, right? Our kids have them. They're ubiquitous. They're everywhere, and they're not going away. And unfortunately, now child depression, anxiety, and suicide are at all-time highs, right? It's a real issue. So what's happening? Well, there are definitely studied negative effects of all of the screen time. The average kid, this is a real stat. The average kid spends over 50 hours per week in front of a screen.
Wow.
And that trend has, steadily been increasing, and there's no signs of it waning. If anything, it's still increasing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been a lot of studies about what effect that's having on our kids. Psychology Today says smartphone use may be contributing to mental distress among young people. There's a link between exposure to electronic devices and struggles with self-esteem, literacy comprehension. This is from the Journal of American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. And I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the news, but this is just from last week, right? Australia, who clearly sees an issue here, has now straight up banned social media for all children under the age of 16.
Wow.
There are certain restrictions in other countries, but Australia is really the first country to say, no, it's banned. if you're a company that's a social media company and you're allowing kids under the age of 16 to somehow get access to social media, you could face fines up to $30 million and higher.
Wow.
Yeah.
I kind of like that, honestly. That seems like a good
Right. I
thing.
mean, they've seen a problem. Now they're taking, this is like the swift reaction to the problem. Like this is the first time we've seen a straight up ban because it's, the data isn't lying. Ever since kids have had access to social media and, they say, what is the comparison is the thief of joy. I think that's a saying somewhere. Maybe I'm messing it up.
I think it's a proverb. That's a Bible verse.
Is it?
Look at you.
I know what I'm doing. Yeah, it's a real thing, right? So social media really should be for adults and over because the effect that it's having on kids is clearly a negative one. This happened. What are really our options here, right? You could take that route like Australia did and just if the government steps in and straight up bans it, that would be one thing. But that probably unlikely to happen in the States, at least in the foreseeable future. So what can we do as parents, right? Really, the buck stops here. We're the ones responsible for our children. We have to be aware of these issues and we have to do something about it, whatever we can, and be responsible parents, as in all things. You're not going to let your kid run into traffic. So you need to use the same sort of precautions to protect our kids when they're in the digital world also, right? When they're in front of screens. And as we know, it's a lot of time. So that's what we're here to discuss, some tips, some tricks, some resources. And, I'll tell you a little bit about what we're doing at TruPlay. So one, we can establish usage restrictions. A lot of households, we talk to a lot of parents, and a lot of parents start right here, right? And what does that look like? Session time limits, day of the week. Maybe you can only play on your devices on the weekends or special occasions. Like we're going on a long car ride for the holidays. We're going to visit grandma and we're going to be in the car for 8 hours. So, okay, you can use your tablet while we're in the car, stuff like that. That's a good one. You're right. Establish some rules. You got rules for everything else, you got it for soda pop and candy or what have you, eat your vegetables before your dessert. Same thing works with regard to devices. So what else, right? You can manage at the device level, at the app level, and then there are ratings and resources. Let's get into that. What does it look like to manage at the device level? If you don't know this, you should open your settings right now or after this little share session, and especially on your kids' devices, and go into the settings. I've got screenshots here of what it looks like on my iPhone. This is an Apple product. All the Apple ones look like this. Android's going to have their own version of it. If you've got a Google phone or a Samsung phone or something with an Android operating system. But if you open up your settings and you scroll down in the iPhone, you will see screen time. And if you click on that screen time icon, it will open up the screen time menu, which you see on the right side here. And the ones that I've got bracketed there are really the ones that can help to manage this issue at the device level. So it'll apply to everything on that device. You can set schedules and time away from the screens. You can set limits on various apps. You can reduce eye strain with screen distance warnings and stuff like that. This is another issue that's just related to really the blue light that is emitted from screens, which is also a known issue and related to myopia and other issues. There's now a lot of data coming out to suggest that the blue light that's emitted from the screen of like your phone or your television, for that matter, is the same wavelength as that critical circadian wavelength of light, like 440 to 470 nanometers for you nerds out there. And that's the same kind of light that comes out of the sun, right? And when we're awake during the daytime, this triggers our brains to do certain processes, right? And a lot of genetic things that go on genetically in your body are cued from that circadian system. So it's really important. It's more than just like sleep and not sleep. When the sun goes down, that blue is supposed to be gone. And a lot of people, children included, are still looking directly into those blue wavelengths of light long after the sun has gone down. And it's causing circadian disruption, which causes other issues in our lives. In addition to that, the distance, which is why you've got this on the settings, the distance is an issue for the developing eye also, right? This is fixed focal length. Out in nature, things are far, things are near, your eyes are constantly adjusting, and those little muscles in your eyes are flexing to focus on things far away and things near. And that is necessary for proper development and eye health. Well, when you're spending 50 plus hours a week just staring at something that's exactly the same distance from your face, your eyes get lazy, they atrophy, and this also becomes an issue, the fixed focal length issue. So you can help. iPhone's got a little built-in helper there. There are communication limits, set limits for calling and messaging, and communication safety, which is super important. That bottom one there, content and privacy restrictions, is also a good tool. You can actually enable sensitive photos and video protection. So it will auto detect if something's coming through that screen that is something you wouldn't want a kid to see, and it can block it for you. So check those out if you're not already using them. Set it and forget it. It's the easy thing to do. Go in there one time, configure it, and then you can walk away and feel like you've got the front line of protection there.
Awesome.
So there are also useful apps to manage screen time and stuff like that. These are some of the more popular ones on the left here. Net Nanny is a really good value option. Kaspersky is great for iOS devices. Our Pact is good for monitoring, and Custodio is really good in Norton too. Really good if you've got like a big family or a big family network. They have features that can really help you to keep track of all that and organize that mess. And then both Microsoft and Google have their own apps for family safety that help you control all the products that are within their ecosystems. I definitely use both the Microsoft Family Safety and the Google Family Link to monitor my kids' video game play and screen time and stuff like that. What are you guys doing, Cliff?
We have Microsoft Family Safety set up on like their laptops. I haven't, and I know we talked about this a little bit. I haven't looked at Google Family Link yet. That's free as well, though, right? That's a free service. Yeah,
it is.
So I'll have to check that out too. And then we've used Custodio. I've done the free trial of it. We didn't need to use it longer. We just used it for a period of time for something specific. But it was really cool. If I did need to use it longer, I would definitely would. We just used it for one device. I didn't. You said it was good for like big families, which I didn't realize, but it actually tracked like individual YouTube videos too. So like not just like, oh, they were on YouTube for an hour or whatever. It's like these were all the actual videos they watched. So even if like, let's say you have a tech savvy kid that went in and like deleted the history or accessed YouTube from not signed in an account, which means it doesn't save the history, and then deleted like their browser history or whatever it is, like that app is like keeps track of all of that, so you can still go back and see it, and that reports back to your device. So it doesn't matter what they do, and if they try to like delete the apps or anything, like most of these apps will tell you like, hey, they're trying to tamper with the app and stuff. So they're good to have. If you have kids who have phones, it's just really important as parents. Like we're responsible still for what our kids are doing, and we have to do everything we can in our power to make sure they're safe. Like the world is going to constantly be coming for our kids. The enemy is going to be coming for our kids. Like they are not exempt from these things. So we just really have to be careful. But yeah.
It is worth noting that the ones on the left there are subscription model products. So check them out, kick the tires. A lot of them offer a free trial. If you find it helpful, go for it. And then there are also some really great resources if you're looking for ratings and reviews and you want to know about something. Common Sense Media, Focus on the Families Plugged In, and Parent Pro Tech are all really good ones. If you don't know about those, you should check them out and see if it could be useful to add to your line of defenses at home. But it begs a question, though, and I want to talk about this because we're living in the technological age. These devices are with us everywhere, right? And we need to ask: is the problem really the device itself, inherently the device? I mean, we're looking into screens right now. You go to church, your church uses big screens to communicate, right? These screens, they're really just like windows to information. And they're not going anywhere. I think we're all very addicted to our phones. They're more than phones. Clearly, there's with all the apps that are in them, they do so many other things. But what they really are is a second brain, right? You if you walk out of your house without it, you feel like you're at a deficit. So I think it's just really unlikely that the screen itself is inherently bad. There is a lot of good to that we can also say come from having these devices, right? We're getting smarter, we got access to information. There's a lot of great studies that also indicate that there's a lot of positive effects of devices, like enhanced cognitive skills, increased engagement in learning, right? Great learning tools, habit formation through repetition, long proven, and developing those video game skills are transferable to other skills in life also. When I was young and learning to drive, my father, I have an older sister, and he taught my sister how to drive before he taught me. And when I got in the car, he was terrified because of the experience he had with my sister. And I remember I got in, I turned it, and I put my hands on the wheel, put it in drive, and I started going, and it was like second nature to me. Like I knew how to drive because I'd spent a long time playing video games, and my sister never had developed that sort of skill set. I was good at race car games. I was in the arcade like all the time playing the race car games. And it blew my dad away. He was like, "How do you know how to do this?" I said, "I don't know. It's like playing a game."
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. Those skills are transferable. There's plenty of data to suggest it.
Yeah, real quick, Jeff, too. I just shared actually in promotion of this live stream a clip of Elon Musk and Joe Rogan talking about, and one of the things they stated was
Yeah.
that surgeons are actually 26% overall better performers at being a surgeon than their like if they play video games than their non-player counterparts. And so like a 26% increase at your job as a surgeon just by playing video games, because it does help with that reaction time. You're using like both of your hands and all that stuff. So like there's just a lot that goes behind it. So, I know a lot of people talk about like video games being a waste of time or frivolous or whatever it is, but like there's a real, like actual real life benefits to it as well. And yeah, it's just crazy.
That's right. I saw that episode. It's a great one. You guys should check it out. It's true. You can't deny the benefits. So these devices are divisive, right? There's the good side, there's the bad side, and they're not going away. But I want to challenge you. Is it the device itself that's the bad thing, or is it the content, right? And I think we can establish that screens aren't inherently bad, right? Screens everywhere. We depend upon them. They're a window into content.
Mm.
And if you restrict access, like if you go straight up, no screens in my house, I know a lot of families do this too, right? They hear the bad things and then they completely ban them. My kids aren't touching a tablet until they're 21, stuff like that. If you really are hard line and you do it like that, it could be a bad thing. That could backfire on you because we're growing up, our kids are growing up in this world where these things are part of their lives. And if you restrict the access for long enough, they could really be at a deficit by the time they get to the point when it's inevitable that they're going to have to adopt this technology, and their cohort is going to have years and years of a head start being native with these things, knowing how they
Mm-hmm.
function. And it could come down to like it becomes a negative thing in their life that they've been that they're foreign at that point. So you really, you got to find the balance. And I think the problem is not the technology, is not the screen. The problem is the content, right? And this is not a new problem. We've known this. We've had shows coming through our televisions for many years now. And in 1996, Congress passed a Telecommunication Act that mandated that all the shows coming through the televisions have a rating system, right? You can't broadcast it on the airwaves if it hasn't gone through the organized rating system. And it helps to give parents an idea of like what is okay and what is not okay for their kids to watch, which is great. But these ratings don't apply to anything coming through the internet, really, right? The internet is the Wild West. So there's that. And also this 50 hours of screen time that kids are playing, the majority of that is dedicated to gaming, not to watching content. Believe it or not, it's games. The gaming industry is bigger than the entertainment industry, and it has been for like a decade.
Wow.
So do we have the same sort of rating system for the gaming platforms? We do. The ESRB rating system, right? And this will put this little sticker on games so parents, can be informed about what kind of stuff their kids are watching. So, Cliff, give me one or two the most popular gaming platforms for kids.
Platforms or actual games?
Platforms. Name a big one. What comes to mind?
Well, I grew up on Steam on the PC, so that was has a whole catalog of whatever games are on there, and then obviously like Xbox and PlayStation for console are very popular. Nintendo, so
those devices. I was thinking more like, what is the really popular kids gaming environment metaverse that tons of kids are on right now? What's the big one that jumps to mind?
oh, sorry, Roblox.
I'm trying to lead you in the
Roblox is
Roblox
probably one.
direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Roblox. Everybody knows about Roblox, right? You want to guess what the Roblox ESRB rating is?
Oh man, I know that we've actually talked about this before, and I already forgot. I think it was E for everyone or E10 plus. It was one of those, I think.
Actually, it's teen.
Oh, it is teen. That's right.
That's the official rating.
One day I'll get that question right.
I mean, you don't know it because you're a father, right? I mean, you should, but nobody really pays attention to these things. Roblox is rated for teen, but if you had to take a guess at the average age of the Roblox player, you don't have to guess. Here's the distribution of it. About 50%. This is reported in 2022 by Statista. About 50% of the reported players of Roblox are under the age of 13. And I question that. My intuition just questions that. I would venture to say it's the vast majority of players playing Roblox are under the age of 13.
Yeah.
Like even kids getting access that are older through, other accounts or spoofed accounts or whatever. But I know it's been a thing in my house. I have a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old, and it's hard to fight the Roblox battle. They hear about it at school. Their friends are playing on it. They want to have phone calls and get in on those games, and it's kind of a household name.
Mm-hmm.
So the ratings don't really mean much. And in addition to that, they're not required by law, right? The Supreme Court has held that legal enforcement of ESRB ratings unconstitutionally violates free speech.
It's
so
crazy.
yeah, I mean, maybe one day we'll have ratings. Maybe one day we'll go the route of Australia and completely ban some things for kids under a specific age. I don't know how you enforce it. But I'll tell you, the rating system is there, but people don't pay a lot of attention to it. The games are not really rated appropriately anyway, and they're not required by law.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is even with a rating system, inappropriate content can filter through to even the most harmless games. Adult or inappropriate subject matter, themes, it comes through in the gaming content itself. In the Roblox platform, those games are designed by people like, citizen developers, and they can do whatever they want. And even if your kid is playing an innocuous, like casual infinite runner game, most of them are ad supported. They're free to download, free to play. Kids love it. They're highly addictive. And as their kids are playing in between levels or whatever, they get served up ads, and there is no filter for these ads. And I've heard from legions of parents saying that inappropriate subject matters come through in the form of an advertisement in between a really innocuous game that their kid was playing, coloring games, stuff like that.
Yep. There's been a number of like my one daughter loves the color by number games, and like there's been so many of them where it's like, yeah, you can't play that because the ads that are on there and stuff, and yep, it's a problem for sure.
Yeah. So what is showing up through these screens and targeting our kids? This is what it looks like. It's scary. Who is showing up? The enemy is showing up.
Mm-hmm.
There is Diablo, Grand Theft Auto, the In most of these games, in the popular games that kids are playing, the object of the game is oftentimes the worst stuff about life. Murder, right? Killing. Like I hear kids all the time, my kids, bragging about headshots. You know, it's not. I don't know how we got here, but we got here, and we need to do better, right? Right now, popular terms are stuff like rage quitting, right? Bragging about head tops, Roblox, that company we were just talking about. The lawsuits are everywhere right now. Um, there was just a write up in the Wall Street Journal. A Hindenburg did a short attack on them and went in undercover and acted like they were a preteen and created an account and instantly like found their way into awful chat rooms, child pornography, all kinds of like child trafficking happening through this platform, several lawsuits because bad actors are getting access to your children through the chat rooms of these platforms, and they know about it and they haven't done enough to stop it.
Yep.
So it's a scary environment to just let your kid into the Wild West. And while all this bad stuff is finding its way to our kids, is this connected to the other trend that we saw earlier, that graph that I showed where the depressive symptoms were increasing even though the environment in which we're living is getting better? The depressive kids are getting more and more depressed. There's something else missing, right? When this is going up, there's a reason I have the title here of our children's souls are under attack. If you look at this exposure really can negatively affect their faith, and therefore there's these rising rates of anxiety, depression, and suicide, right? If you just plot on a graph the way the cohorts report their belief in God, you can see the silent generation, the baby boomers, and Gen X are all above 60%. Gen X is even increasing in the rates of reporting belief in God. And then something starts to happen in that millennial generation, right around that same time that the iPhone and the iPad came out. And then Gen Z drops off a cliff. And today, only 32% of kids believe in God, and only 2% have a biblical worldview.
Wow.
The enemy is everywhere, and where is God? And why do I bring this up? Is it really related to these other issues? It is. This is from MDPI. There's lots of studies to show the negative correlation between belief in God and depressive symptoms, anxiety, depression, suicide rates. Negative correlation. That is to say, when one goes up, the other goes down. The more you believe in God, the less depressed you are, the less anxious you are, the less likely you are to take your own life. So it is connected. These things are connected. The fact that these rates in belief in God are declining so fast, and the anxiety and the suicide and the depression rates are increasing so fast. It is spiritual warfare, and it's negatively affecting our kids. So if this toxic content is everywhere, like, where are the better options? There are some out there. If getting God like into people's lives again is part of the answer, and of course it is, right? Of course he is the answer. Like we have to, as a generation of parents and caretakers, we have to meet kids where they are, and we got to bring God with us.
Yep.
Right? And where are our kids? They're on devices. They're in front of these screens for 50 plus hours a week, and they're getting bombarded with stuff that tears them down. We need to give them stuff that builds them up. There are some options. You may have even looked for them yourself. If you go searching the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, or even on the internet. But there aren't a lot of options. And the ones that are available that really do a good job of integrating, God in a biblical worldview, they're boring. They do not compete with these mainstream alternatives that are poisoning our kids' minds. Right? And that's a problem. parents have to take responsibility first and foremost, right? With the decisions that we make in our own sphere of influence. And we need to meet kids where they are. We need to make sure that they're getting better content. That's one of the main reasons why we started TruPlay. We wanted to do just that. We wanted to meet kids where they are and bring them better content and make it so that it's fun, engaging, entertaining, that kids are going to like it. They're not going to reject it. It needs to compete with those mainstream secular alternatives that are toxic at best and like questionable at best, toxic at worst, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a bunch of parents, industry professionals from the most beloved big video game brands, entertainment brands, technology brands came together and started TruPlay. So what is it? It's an app, a mobile app, right? Revolutionary. Inside that app, though, is a whole universe of really fun, engaging, entertaining games, lots of different ones, high quality animated videos, and digital comics. A really fun, safe environment where kids can be built up instead of torn down. There's no ads, there's no chat rooms, there's no in-app purchases, so there's no surprises for parents. I have a friend who had lunch with him, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago at this point, who cares? But he told me he was like screaming mad at his wife called him in the middle of lunch and told him something. He was like screaming angry. I said, what happened? He said they just found out that their son, their like 13-year-old son, had just racked up like thousands of dollars in in-app purchases in Fortnite. And they just found it on their credit card. That's awful. That's scary.
Yeah.
And so no in-app purchases, right? And tons of great content that all of it engineered to build character and nurture faith in our kids. I'll show a quick video here, give you an inside look at the kind of content.
I hope we'll be able to hear it, Jeff. I'm concerned.
Oh, if you can't hear this, let us know in the chat. We'll try to figure this out for the next time that we do one of these things. But
we can always put the link to it in there too.
Yeah.
What's that over there? I got this.
Lord, I know you're with me. Help me be like you. Come on!
My father sent me to take food to my brothers, all soldiers in King Saul's army. But I knew God had called me to something bigger.
Dear Lord, could use some help right now.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart.
It seems like these mines have minds of their own.
With God's help, I can be fearless.
Maybe. I think it's time for a hailstorm. Watch what these do.
Living in the garden was incredible.
I needed to build a boat to rescue my family and the animals on the earth.
God tells me to be strong and courageous.
You're taking that old thing with you?
I needed to find Chase.
He's with God.
I know. That's where I'm going.
Please, God, keep him safe.
Are you muted, Jeff? Were you talking?
I don't think
no,
so.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Sorry, we could hear it. It was good.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Pleasant
so that was
surprise.
good. Someone said PsyQ, if I'm saying your name correctly. This is the app of their dreams. So that's awesome. Praising Yah right now. We love that. It really is an amazing app. I've used it myself. My wife has used it. And we were thoroughly impressed. Even for adults, we were like, wow, the games are actually fun. Now, some of the games are a little bit more for children, but there are some games on there that even as adults, it's like, wow, we can actually have some Christian gaming fun ourselves, and we should be able to do that, without having to compromise. So, yeah.
Yeah, we hear it all the time that adults like playing the games too. There's a lot of different kinds of games in there. So if you've got your own like favorites, mainstream favorites, we probably have a version of that in TruPlay. But we are targeting, like trying to target the age range of from 4 to about 14. And as we continue to develop content, and we're developing and releasing content all the time, like pretty much every month. And as we develop more and more, we'll age upward, right? But right now we're focusing on mobile apps and we're focusing on 4 to 14. Why? That's the critical window. The 4 to 14 window, you can look that up. It's a thing. That is the window of time that you have to develop a relationship with God, or else you are very unlikely to do so the rest of your life.
Wow.
Yep. 85% of adults report that they developed a relationship with God within that 4 to 14 window.
That's
so you got to
sorry.
get there during that critical window.
I forget which Proverbs. I was trying to find it real quick, but it's, train your child up in the way that they should go, so that when they're old, they won't depart from it. I mean, that's the data is speaking right to that Bible verse. Like, that's amazing.
That's right. Yeah. So thank you. I love to hear that feedback. We really are doing this because we believe in what we're doing. We believe we're going to change a whole generation of children and take that 32% of kids that believe in God and make that graph go straight vertical. And, we see it happening every day with our users and the feedback that we get. We hear great anecdotal stories of kids taking the principles that they learned within the app and applying them to real life scenarios, like being afraid of the dark and stuff like that. So cute. And I can tell you personally, I've got 3 boys, and my oldest, who was a Roblox kid, he loves TruPlay. If anybody was going to reject it, it would have been my oldest son. But I sit with him all the time, and we play the games together. And what's cool about it is when he gets exposed to a concept within a game or something, and all of these biblical principles, they're seamlessly integrated into gameplay. There's a whole universe of characters, and each one of them is designed to identify with a different kind of kid. One of them has divorced parents. One of them gets bullied at school. One of them is on the autism spectrum. His brother died when he was young, and he's learning how to deal with it. Over the course of all these games and all the stories that are telling, the storylines intertwine, and each one of them learns that they are a child in God, and they learn valuable biblical principles. One of our most popular games is called King David's Battles, where a kid can actually play through the life of King David as he's a boy and becomes a man, and in a fun way. And then they ask you questions about it, and you're like, oh, well, actually, that's in the Bible. We could read that story as one of the better stories in the Bible. Instead of having like force feed your kid like scripture, they get introduced to it in a way that's really fun for them.
Yeah.
And you can connect the dots. Like at bedtime when you're doing prayer time and you're, having that, you can connect the dots of the gameplay from the day. And oftentimes that moment will be started by something that your kid says back to you that they picked up playing TruPlay.
Yeah.
It'll be a pleasant surprise.
Jeff, can I put you on the spot for a second? Do you have any testimonies that you can think of right now? I think you've shared some in the past, of like, I don't know, just anything in general of how TruPlay has impacted any families or what you've heard or anything, like a specific testimony. I don't know. I
do actually have a slide dedicated to it.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Let me go here. Oh, I was telling you about the Rim verse, right? This is our like little metaverse, our universe of characters and stuff. And I said, there's a different kind of character for every different kind of kid. Let me see if I can show you. I'll skip ahead, Cliff, to get to answer your question. I do have some testimonials in here. But one thing I should point out before I get there is I said it wouldn't work. What we're doing wouldn't work if it was rejected by kids, right? They're our target audience. It has to be fun. It has to be entertaining. It has to compete with these mainstream alternatives. And based on data coming out of Sensor Tower, which is public data, and it measures activity within mobile applications, the important metrics that app makers pay attention to are your retention rates, right? How many people are coming back after one day? How many players are coming back after 1 week or after 1 month? These are the metrics we pay attention to. And of all those metrics, kids prefer TruPlay 2 to 1. They are twice as likely to return to TruPlay than they are to Roblox or to Minecraft after 1 week or 1 month or 1 month. That's saying something, right? It's not cough medicine. You're not going to have to force feed your kids. It's not broccoli. They're going to thank you. They're going to have a great time, and you are going to get peace of mind. So let's hear what kids and parents are saying. Here you go, Cliff.
So Noah, our 6-year-old, is super scared of the dark. Then last night I heard him yell, "God tells me to be strong and courageous." Turns out he picked this up from a brave, funny character in TruPlay Games. Pro parenting tip, get TruPlay Games for your kids. You won't regret it.
What do I think? Oh, I think it's amazing. So excited to have something like this for my kids because it's safe and they're learning about God and they're having fun.
I won!
Hey Beverly, who's your favorite TruPlay Games character?
It's the Tiger Bunny.
The Tiger Bunny Maple?
Yes.
Do you love TruPlay Games?
Yes.
What's your favorite part?
Oh, fighting the bad guys. So I was playing Little Light, and then like right after the little letter, the paper, Lumi said like God will always have time for us, like just that little speech bubble, and it made me cry and happy.
Hey Zeb, how does playing TruPlay make you feel?
It makes me feel happy. Like I want more of it. Like I want to increase my skills and to learn more about God when I play it.
Imagine going from rage quits, screaming and throwing controllers at the television set, to feeling happy and wanting to learn more about God. It's a reality. It really can happen, and we're working so hard to try to, get this in front of as many families as we can, right?
So Noah, our 6-year-old, is super.
So TruPlay been around now for a little over a year, been live in the App Store. It took us several years to develop the initial product that we launched, and we launched it on the App Stores about almost a year and a half ago. And we've been releasing new content all the time. The app just keeps getting better and better. And all the while, we feel this momentum, like we're gaining steam. We're really trying to start a movement and to get people aware of this. This is why we're doing stuff like this with you, Cliff. I mean, I'm so grateful that you invited me to come here and address your audience, because we need parents to know about it. We think that's the biggest issue. Like, we think if more parents knew about it, as that it was an option, that they take it. And so we are inviting you to join this movement with us. And I'm going to play you a little clip of the momentum that we've been gathering over the course of this last year as we're starting to get the word out. And I invite you to jump in with us.
Imagine video games that combine high-quality graphics, family fun, and teaching the Word of God. The world needs a whole lot more of that, and his company TruPlay is giving it to us.
Only 32% of kids in America believe in God. Can you believe that?
32%.
32%.
A recent survey revealing just 32% of our nation's children believe in God. Man, that's a staggeringly low number. And now a new Christian entertainment and gaming platform is hoping to change that. TruPlay invites children to engage in their faith and the Bible while playing online.
Our whole goal, the reason we're really motivated to do this is, if only 32% of the youngest generation believes in God, well, what if that changed? What if that goes from 30 to 40 to 50 to over half? You could see not only a generation, but our country, and maybe the whole world would change if people believed in Jesus and knew God's truth, because it would bring back hope into their lives.
How can people, I love it. Absolutely fantastic.
I don't know if you know exactly what I've been talking about for the last 2.5 decades, but I'm so thankful you exist. You are the solution to the problems I've been addressing around this globe forever.
Here is the best part about this app. It is Christian and it is full of the Bible. It has stories about Jesus. It has scriptures. It is full of biblical teachings worked into every game, every story, every video. It's incredible.
Now, there's an opportunity to harness advancements in the gaming industry for good. We don't have to compromise on quality, fun, or imagination to enjoy the world of digital entertainment. We just have to choose our sources wisely. TruPlay Games agrees, and they are leading the way.
You're taking a venue, a culture that's already happening, and you're infusing the kingdom in it, and teach them about spiritual warfare, identity, core values, how to prosper, work ethics, good character. All these things can be taught through video games.
Kevin Sorbo here. Now listen, the internet is the Wild West for kids. So are you looking for a fun and safe app for your kids to play games? TruPlay has the app for you.
Of course I endorse it, and of course it shines the light of Christ. But it has the power of engaging gamers and the next generation, for that matter.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you. It really has been great working here. I've had a long career, about 15 years now in this technology and subscription and stuff like that. It's really nice to be able to work every day for something that you believe is having a positive impact on the world, and I really feel that way. I feel like what we're doing is having a positive impact and is going to offer, peace of mind, if nothing else, to parents. And that's why we're here doing what we're doing. And really, we have the potential to make lives better for all of our kids. And there's nothing more important than that.
Yeah. It's so good, Jeff. Yeah. I'm grateful for you guys. Once we discovered TruPlay, we're like, this is what it really was, a missing link in kind of our digital world, if you will. Like it was like, we need more Christian. Obviously I create Christian content videos, right? But like, we need it in all platforms, all areas. It's just so important. Like, you get on the internet and it is just, the enemy has taken too much territory, I'd say, on the internet. So it's time for Christians to stand up and start taking territory back and claiming more territory. And so that's what I love that you guys are doing. And I believe you guys are making a difference, and it will just continue to make a bigger and bigger one. So we're grateful for you guys, for sure.
Thank you. We're grateful for you too. We love Cliff Buell and all your channels. Keep making Christian content. Yes. And for your fans that are out there, and certainly the ones that joined us today, we got a couple of little giveaways that we're doing. One, Cliff has his own unique promo code. So if you want to kick the tires on TruPlay, you want to check it out, it's best to just do the old-fashioned Pepsi challenge, right? If you've got Roblox players at home, download TruPlay, install it on your their tablet, and just give it to them. Walk away, see what happens.
Yeah.
Let it speak for itself. It's a subscription model. That's why there's no ads or anything like that. But there are options. You can do the monthly subscription, or you can do the annual subscription. Whichever you choose, there's a 7-day free trial. So there's really no risk at all to try it out. And if you use Cliff's promo code, Cliff20, you'll get 20% off whichever plan you choose. So if you pick that annual plan, there's a good savings there on the year. And just in time for the holidays, you can give it as a gift also. I feel compelled to say that when we're sitting here on December 7th.
I'm sure you're going to mention it, Jeff, but it's just my favorite part, that one subscription is good for 10 devices. So you can get enough for the whole family, and probably somebody else's family too, with one subscription. So 10 devices. And then I remember you mentioned before too that you can have unlimited profiles on one device, right? So is that correct? So you get 10 devices with one subscription and unlimited profiles per device. So it's pretty amazing, honestly. It's very affordable.
You don't have to worry about one kid coming in and playing on the other kids. Like, oh, you beat that level. I want, they don't have to share. You can create separate profiles, and they click their little button. The first screen is, pick who you are. And so if you've got multiple kids, they click that, and then their whole app is their whole app. And yes, you can download it and log in with your login information on up to 10 devices. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is the giveaway next? Is that are we? Is that where we're at?
Yeah. Do you have that? Yeah, pretty much. Unless there's any questions, I can answer any questions anyone might have. And I hope this has been informative. I'd love feedback.
So
right?
yeah, sorry. I can read you. There's been some chat here. So PsyQ said that it's the app of their dreams. I shared you with that. They said they will be downloading it. Mama Shmita said she's going to be sharing it with everybody she knows. Rachel just said, thank you. This is so awesome. My kids are about to check this out. So some good feedback so far. And if you guys did stick around, we are doing a giveaway as it says. So I'm going to put a form. It's a Google Docs form in the chat. Go ahead and click that. And Jeff, I'll let you kind of give the details on it, but put in your information now. And then if you do have any questions also in the meantime, throw those in the chat. But you can go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, so on Monday, I'm going to randomly pick a name off that Google form and send you a free annual subscription. So if you're interested, put your email into that form, and I'll notify you on Monday.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can always use Cliff's code there. I should let you know that promo code is only valid on the TruPlay website, which is TruPlayGames.com. So if you're going to go and subscribe through the website. Don't download it from the App Store first and then subscribe through the app, because you can do that. But that promo code will not work for Apple or for Google Play. It'll only work through our website.
Okay. That's actually good to know. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. TL said, nice, Jeff. You did great. You did great. Oh, well, thank you, Mama Shmita. Your name is Mama Shmita, but you don't have kids at home. Are your kids out of the home, I'm assuming? She said she's going to subscribe and support anyway, so we appreciate that. For sure, because that's awesome. And if you get a subscription and I don't know if you end up having grandkids or you have grandkids or you have, nieces, nephews, whoever it is, that one subscription is good for 10 devices, so they can always take advantage of that. And that's what we're doing. We're our nephew and probably we have a lot of nieces and nephews, but there'll probably be some that we include on our subscription. So, yeah, this is it's awesome. It's revolutionary for the Christian space, and I don't know, I just love it so much. That's why I invited TruPlay to come here and talk, and I'm sure we'll do more of these. It's just I want to get this out more. As you guys know, I support a lot of Christian businesses. It's very important to me that, Christians should be in the marketplace, in all areas of the marketplace. We don't have to give all our money to pagans all the time or be subject to not just like, oh, this is a secular thing, but like a lot of these things are demonic. Like a lot of these things the enemies is really attacking us on. And so when we can get Christians in these spaces, it's so important to support and just put the word out there, right? So again, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Thank you, Carolyn. I'm so grateful for everyone who stuck around. I don't know, Jeff, was there anything else that you wanted to make sure people know?
Happy holidays. Thank you so much for your time. If you really do want to join the movement, like help us to get more brand awareness, nothing works better than word of mouth. Tell your friends, tell your family members, if they've got kids and you think it can add value to their lives. And if you are a subscriber and you refer somebody else that becomes a subscriber, there's rewards for that.
Mm-hmm.
So sign up for our rewards program, and for every person that comes in, you'll get credited on your account. There's merchandise that you can get for your kids. There's tons of great rewards. So
and anyone can sign up for that, right? Like you don't have to be a creator or anything. So
that's right.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Amazing.
Join our mom army.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you for your time. Thank you for presenting the important data on screen time, how this is impacting our kids. And of course, sharing with us the wonderful rim verse of TruPlay. And thank you everyone for joining. We appreciate it, especially for those who stuck around the entire time. Thank you so much. If you guys did miss it, this will still be up on the YouTube, on my YouTube channel, so you can always watch it back if you're joining late. And then again, I'm sure we'll do more of these in the future, so you can always hop in again. But thank you so much, everyone. God bless, and